Thank you, Ilias, for accepting my invitation for a 15-minute conversation. And we are at a really unique location. We found each other in Crete. Unfortunately, I cannot show the marina or something, but people see the greenery, so it is great.
Oh, thank you, Ali, for doing this.
So you know how it is. It's the 15 minutes. Now academics advice that I will just talk about some things that I think you can give some insight on.
Okay,
Not the rules really. I will put on a 15-minute timer, so I can
sounds good.
not take so much of your time because we still need to get to the conference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to start with ACAs, and now that we're at this ACA conference, right? And this is the 30th year of ACA. How did it stay this successful? What do you think contributed to its success?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. I think that the main factor was the informal nature of the conference. Also the friendly atmosphere that was cultivated over a number of years, if not a number of decades, from people who started this conference. And another reason is the decentralized nature of this conference. So the heavy work is done by the parallel session organizers, and it turns out that the themes of the sessions are not constant. Always they come and go. They come and go. So we have new sessions that appear, other sessions disappear. It's sort of a reflection of what are the current themes of research, interesting themes of research in the community, in the computer algebra community. Um, and there is a lot of volunteering work. I think these are the main reasons that it has been going for 30 years, and hopefully for another 30
Hopefully,
we are
yeah.
going into.
And shall I say it's also really inclusive. That it's really it's inviting for new sessions to come and new teams to come.
Absolutely, yeah,
It's not like
absolutely.
some other conferences that not necessarily that I will name. It's sticking to one team and just
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very welcoming environment. Newcomers are also especially welcome, because let's face it, it's a conference for everyone, and I think that model has worked very well so far, and so we plan to continue this model. So the founders of this conference series, at every occasion, they encourage new people to get involved and join the working group. The working group is um, a set of 45 computer algebra researchers that sort of oversee the development of the conference. And by that I mean they try to help as much as possible the local organizers every year. And that I think worked very well. And they're not, uh, shall we say, intrusive in that process. Right? They try to stay um, out of their way, just help them, encourage them, give some advice, but the main responsibility lies with the local organizers each year.
also the session organizers, as you said. Yeah, it
Yes,
really.
the session
I
and
mean,
the right.
thankfully we were lucky that the local organizers have been doing a great job in
Yes,
the
absolutely,
recent years. And in
absolutely.
my experience, has been always that the conference runs smooth.
Yes, absolutely.
But due to Zafirakis' involvement,
Hmm.
and we should give him a lot of credit for this organization too.
Absolutely.
Here in Istanbul,
Mm.
I was the treasurer, so
Mm.
then I worked in finding sponsors and everything. So I saw how crazy it was on the back end of it.
Yes,
It
yeah.
was really a lot of responsibility on their part. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to sponsors, it's always tricky business to find sponsors, and previous organizers have also been successful, especially Michael Wester and Stan Steinberg, who started this conference series. They have been very successful in doing that, but it's a very non-trivial endeavor, and I also experienced that in my own quest for sponsors, for the award, the early research award, early career award, if you like. Finding sponsors and keeping them sponsoring over the years is not trivial.
So the conference itself is already really young-blooded. There's a lot of like young people that even I'm feeling on the older side. And I think ACA, the young, ACA's Young Career Research Award, I mean, helps with that too. That it's really
Yeah, of course. It's an incentive. So we created this incentive for young researchers, where early career, let's say, researchers, to help them, to receive an sort of an international recognition for their work, and that helps. I think, is to put it on your CV, on your resume. It helps quite a bit for later on career steps. And this year is the fifth year anniversary of this award. So we are celebrating that as well, on top of the 30 years of ACA, and we hope to continue it. But for that, we will need the support of everyone. It's a collective endeavor. It's not that some visionary is doing that, and it has to be a collective endeavor. So we need people to nominate. We need people who know the work of a person, computer algebra researcher, to nominate them,
Yeah.
to put together a strong nomination, documented with research statement, CV, accomplishments, letters from others, and so on. And that has been the case so far. So this fifth year, there are 20 recipients total overall over the 5 years. It's order of magnitude. So I'm very pleased with that, and hope to continue it. But again, it has to be supported by the community.
Can I talk about a little? Ask you
Yeah.
about research. What do you think should be the involvement of computer algebra in mathematics research?
Yeah, that is a great question, and we can talk about it
In
more
great
more
length, of
more,
course.
more than 15 minutes.
But the simple thing,
But
should it be the like driving force of like
yeah, well,
should be
I
the supporting?
I think that interaction is very complicated, and has to do with the field. So some fields are mathematical research fields are more prone to the use of computer algebra. For example, recently I downloaded a survey paper from Malcolm McCallum from London, which is 93 pages long, and discusses computer algebra usage in relativity theory, which is, as you know, a very complicated theory. There are a lot of computations with tensors, with polynomials, with all kinds of things. So I was not aware that computer algebra has been used extensively, for example, in such a successful theory as relativity theory. But it has been, and probably will continue to be. Other areas like combinatorics, let's say algebra, commutative algebra, they're by their nature more prone to using computer algebra systems, and other more theoretical areas are not. But people use computer algebra in ingenious ways in many areas, and I don't think we know all of them, all of these areas. It's very difficult to know all of the areas that computer algebra has contributed. And depending on the area, I think computer algebra, as you said, can help drive the development of the area. For example, by making new conjectures, or refuting existing conjectures, counter examples, and so on. I'm thinking of this recently put together graph theory databases, where they have thousands, if not millions, of graphs. And what they do is that they give a conjecture, let's say, on the size of the eigenvalues in algebraic graph theory, the size of the eigenvalues of a graph. And in a few minutes or seconds, the system will say, no, this is not, and will produce a counterexample that could have been found by hand in some cases, which is very embarrassing. But but
Well, sometimes you
anyway,
don't know where to look.
yeah. So, but when you have a graph database at your disposal, you can refute dozens, if not hundreds, of conjectures of this kind and other conjectures in graph theory, and then help to help. The system can help refining these conjectures and improving the bounds and make them more plausible conjectures. Then mathematicians can try to prove it. So these are some examples.
And you do a lot of them in hard, like mathematics, like by divide and conquer, carrying things in SAT and like just divide and conquer like approach. And I think it is inevitable to use computer or like computer
Yes,
algebra
absolutely.
in these, right? Because things like split into a million pieces.
Yes. It's necessary.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So then I want to also like move from that. The next thing that I know about you that you are the editor-in-chief of like multiple journals. One of them being the Algebraic Mathematical Journal of Algebraic Mathematics. So how does it come to be? Like, first off, I mean, how do you become an editor-in-chief? What motivates you to become the editor-in-chief? Because it's also an extra work on top of like all the research and everything.
Absolutely.
You need to deal with editors. You need to deal with the authors.
Referees, complaints, and so on. Yeah, it's a never.
The company like that publishes that everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think the main motivation is to help the career of young researchers. That is really the main motivation. When I started this job in 2018, that was my main motivation, and it is very rewarding, to meet some young early career researcher at some conference, and they come up to you and say thank you so much. I am so and so. Thank you so much for handling my paper, finding pertinent and useful constructive referee reports, which did help me or us, the co-authors, to write a much better version of our paper. Sometimes, of course, as you said, there are issues, various kinds of issues. I'm not going to go
No, of course, yeah.
into the details.
When
but
the interview went. Yeah. So there definitely there must be tons of issues. But oh yeah, that's slightly a surprise to me because we met for the first time in 2019 in another conference in Marcus,
Absolutely.
and you were already an editor-in-chief in the one journal that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So I thought you were always the editor-in-chief. Like you don't really know the past if you don't. Yeah.
Well, a similar question is the time. How do you manage the time?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think one answer to that is that you learn to make this editorial work an integral part of your day, somehow starting in the early morning, because early morning is more quiet, so you can work an hour or two, maybe at home or somewhere else, and then go to the office and get on with the business of the day, the usual business of the day. But it also requires some sacrifices. So, for example, it's not uncommon that I answer emails, requests for updates, and so on Saturdays, on Sundays, so on weekends, on holidays, and so on. But you learn to live with that.
Yeah, I think I should out ourselves that yes, early mornings is important, and although we had the conference banquet in a different town, like on top of a hill in Crete, and like was able to come to the hotels. I mean, around like 2 a.m. even.
Absolutely,
Almost like 1 a.m.
yeah.
2 a.m. We needed to come together. We just wanted to have it, so we met at like 6:30 a.m.
Right. Yeah,
So we will go back to either the conference or the sleep.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's flip a coin and decide. Randomness.
And yeah, that's a really big thing about you. I would say that you don't take even a day to respond to emails. Or like, I mean, whenever I mean, see someone working with you, they always say that you're present. That you do a lot.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's important to communicate. Even to say, look, I'm sorry, I'm at the conference. I will look at your request by the weekend, by the end of this week, when I'm back in the office, or the out of home office. Obviously, as James Davenport likes to say, it's one of his famous acronyms that he invented in the time of COVID. The UHU.
Also,
out of home office.
okay,
Obviously,
okay, I see.
he was signing his emails like that.
Mhm.
00800.
I'm sure I have seen it. I didn't.
Yeah, you have. You must have seen it.
I'm sure,
You
yeah.
are collaborating
But he always
with
writes
him.
like this out of office messages too. To the point I'm
Yes.
also putting it just because it's more respectful to let people know that I'm not going to attend to their emails.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not an automated email. In my case,
Uh-huh.
I write it myself. It's not an automated answer.
Mhm.
It's a note, and depending on the person, maybe a different
Of
type of
course.
note, right? But it is a personal email, not an
Yes.
automated. I see
Yeah.
time is
Oh yeah, the
of the
15
essence.
minutes. You know, the fun things come to an end quite quickly, and
That's
unfortunately, this
life.
is one of the
Yes,
cases. Yeah, and for it's true for the ACA too. We have another 2 days,
absolutely.
and it has been a wonderful experience. I mean, from like the point that I started around time in
Yeah, yeah.
2019
Indeed, same
till
here.
now. Yeah,
Thank
wonderful.
you,
Yeah,
Ali.
thank you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it very much.